Hello, peeps. Mitch, I know you can talk.
It's
And
Dre.
hey, it's Dre. What's going on, girl?
What's happening? I tried to FaceTime you on Sunday because
Really?
Kyla and I,
What time was that at though?
it was like a little later in the afternoon. Kyla and I were making meatballs.
Oh, how, how'd they turn out? You guys were talking this morning when I texted Kai too.
Yep, we were talking we were on the phone. But they turned out amazing. The only thing is I forgot to add the milk.
A little bit of milk, so I made them a little drier.
But you know what? They weren't that dry. But I'm gonna do the milk next time for sure.
Okay, there you go. Perfect, perfect. Well, I'm
Oh, they
actually
were
at
amazing.
our South Philly office, Michael's, the one who wrote the book. So I'm actually
Oh,
at
oh,
their office today.
cool. Well, we
Yeah,
love that book.
I'm telling you, it's great.
Love that
Um,
book.
I sent Pete, I think, 10 of them.
Oh, did you?
Well, for everybody I met when we were down at Live, I sent it for all his friends and stuff because everybody wanted them.
Oh
So
my gosh, they're the best.
I don't
They're the
know.
best
I
people.
know the book's arrived. I don't know whether I don't think he's been home to get it, but whatever. It's okay.
Yeah, no,
It's
he's
all good.
traveling right now, so
Yeah, I know. So our daredevil Cam, what's going on, kid?
Oh, doing good. Busy, man. Just working away.
There you go. There you go. As the saying goes, if you're not getting at it, it's your fault.
Yeah,
I'm
I've been
tired of
telling a
this
lot of people that
excuse.
lately.
I'm tired of hearing the market shit. No, you're shit. How's that?
The
Sorry.
market's the market's great. I mean, shoot, we got guys doing like 6, 7 pendings right now, but it's definitely harder than it was. But welcome to normal real estate.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? We're blessed. We're in the game. I got a lot of people that are thinking about getting out, and I'm saying, hey, look, just come on my team, be a referral base. I've got other people in my organization, be more than happy to pay you very, very good referrals, because they're not busy and they need to sell.
Yep.
So just come play in my ocean with me. You have me to hang out with and coach you and help you, but also not just let your business dry up and dust and blow away, that you've worked on for all these years, and be a typical realtor. They carry your stuff out in a box and throw it in the trash.
Yep. You got it. And that's it. Like right now, twice as much work, and that's just what it is. But that's what we do. That's our jobs. If you go to work at Starbucks, you're going to be busting your butt all day making coffees. Like
Mhm.
it's not like you sit there and don't get to do anything. So, we're just kind of that snap back to reality that we're all going to get to, or we all, a lot of agents are getting to. But it's good. It's good to have that. I think a lot of people get stronger as times get tougher. Now, that's not everybody, right? But we're not searching for everybody. We're searching for those that are excelling during more challenging times and what a lot of them experienced, and we can assist them from there. If you want to sharpen your tools, we got the iron. Iron sharpens iron, and you just got to get part of this, join us, learn from us, and then do it. That's the biggest thing is enact. You
Yeah,
start taking action.
yeah, yeah. One of the things, and we all say it in here, we're not asking anybody to do something we're not willing to do. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Trust me. I had my daughter's birthday last night. We were going out to dinner, and we had to meet her at 6:30. I left the client's house at 6. On my way, I had to run I don't have a scanner at home because I'd worked too much, and Mrs. Lurch has voted that out. Um, so the bottom line is we were on our way. I stopped in the office, scanned it, changed it, signed it, boom, boom, boom. And we went to dinner, and the seller texted me, okay, you were right in the conversation. We decided to DocuSign it and send it. It's in your hands now. The bird's in your hand. And I texted him. I said, thank you. So then we closed this deal in an unknown, but it's the technology and knowing that we got to do it. You make it work. You just get at it and you go, but don't let people control your time. Just get it done and be willing to say no. And I told him, look, I'm not doing this all night. I'm going to send you the documents. They're going to sit there. And if you decide to sign them, great. And if you don't, the buyer walks. And the buyer walks at 8 o'clock.
Yep.
They put, and they're like, why is he playing so hard? I said, because he can. He wants to. This is how he plays. Don't be mad at him.
Yep.
You know,
No. It's that's good for him. That's how it should be. I mean, that's the markets that we're getting
I'm not
into.
going to
You
sit
got the
around and let the
leverage.
deal go. I'm going on vacation tomorrow, and I want to go to bed, and I'm going to get it done, and that's what it was. And hey, 1.25 done. Boom. Let's go.
Congrats.
So
That's a big one.
yeah, yeah. Brian, back from the fishing in the world. What's going on? Were you back at home, or where you at?
Yeah, finally back in San Diego. I spent a week at the beach for 4th of July and then went straight to Montana. And we spent 2 weeks celebrating my granddaughter's birthday, my daughter's birthday, my son-in-law's birthday, and my other daughter's birthday, all in 2 weeks. And just went on a 3,000-mile drive to Montana and back and spent it on the Yellowstone for saw Dennis up there too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So he was up hanging out for a few days.
Cool. Dennis on the world. Here we go. We got Ross in the house. There we go, Ross. I went to our
What's
other
up?
office down in South Philly to get the crazy background that you had. I was down here for a meeting. I said, I'm jumping in with the South Philly, the Italian cookbook office, as I call it. So yeah, let's
Nice.
let's give it one more minute. It looks like there's going to be a few of us. For those who don't know, give Mitch some welcome and love. He's got a little bit of a voice box thing. He's not going to be able to talk for a month or so. I know you might be blessed, but you can't hear us singing. But we're all sending love to you, Mitch. We're all telling you. And if you need anything, send us sign language. It's a perfect opportunity for him to learn sign language, to talk with his grandkids and find a positive out of it. But you're in our prayers. We'll be talking and going from there. A bunch of people finishing up vacation. But one of the things we were talking about last week, we were talking unique selling points. And there's David Lawson coming in hot. So we were talking about, our unique selling points. We went through a lot of them. I mean, David's got all his special programs we talked about. But the one thing that came consistent that I want to remind everybody is it was being you. It was being you, being transparent, being your best, learning what you're supposed to do, not be somebody else, and totally commit, go full boat in. Being 100% at all times. I always say, people say I'm 150%. I said, you're lying. You can only be 100%. You can't give more RPMs, your engine's going to blow. All right. So the bottom line is that seemed to be the consistent conversation that we were finding last week. In following up on that, Cam, Ross, you guys added to it. Brian, you weren't here. We're going to keep it simple. I'm going to let you and David jump in real quick on that. Then we'll go on to another topic that we have that we're going to be touch today. But real quick, no more than 5 minutes, each of you. But let's start with Brian. Your unique selling point. What do you use that are getting people to want to call you other than just being you and being genuine? Is there anything specific, some things you want to share? And keep it short because we're going to keep moving back.
Yeah, I can keep that short. You're right. It's just being authentic. I think one of the things that I've learned to do over the years is attach myself to the outcome of the person that I'm going to be helping. I really have to understand what their goal is. So if it's a seller, I love to ask this question before I even get started with any presentation. Is just take me back to the time when you bought this house. Like, what was it like 10 years ago, 3 years ago, 30 years ago? And let me have an understanding of what it was about this house when you bought it. And when I do that, I get quiet because what I learned is a lot of things about the seller at that point, what they're going to expect about their relationship going forward. Did they buy it during an open house or do they hate open houses? I want to find out all the things about the house, all the things they've changed, what they've done to it. And what happens is you get into a really relaxed mode at that point because they love to tell the stories about their homes and what's happened there. So even if they've owned it 2 years, I just, take me back a couple of years, what was it about this house? So being authentic, getting to know them, and then attaching myself to the outcome. And then with a buyer, about a decade ago, I started using this. I said, has anybody sat down with you and just shared with you what a seller is looking for in today's market in a buyer? Because I've been with all of us have been with hundreds of sellers, if not thousands of sellers, and they all want to know a little story about the buyer. And I think that if a buyer understands that a seller is looking for, besides price and a committed buyer, is do they really know what a seller wants? And a lot of times, all of us know what the seller wants. They want a committed buyer. They want somebody who may not be the highest price. Sometimes it's not highest price, but it's the terms and everything they bring to the table, how committed they are to really go through this process. And so I don't even show houses anymore unless somebody sits down and goes through this. And, now we have this new document so we can introduce our EXP, contract that just allows us to understand with them that, you know, here's what it takes to open a door today. And I don't think you should go out and look at a piece of property until you're so committed that you feel like you're a cash buyer, even though you're not. You're committed to be a cash buyer up against other cash buyers. That's really who you're competing with. And so the authenticity of just like, hey, I want to do a service. I don't want you to have the American nightmare. I want you to have the American dream.
Yeah.
And that American dream starts with a process that is all about how to have this experience, whether you're a buyer or a seller.
That's huge, especially coming into this new market. And even if you're new in this business, one of our dear friends, Sean Kokosa, taught me this 20 years ago. We used to teach it. You should literally, when you're doing that buyer consultation, take them through the whole process. My wife had a hip replacement done, I don't know, 20 years ago, and then had another one. But she was scared when she walked in, but she sat in this room for this whole presentation of other people that were having the same thing done in the next week. And it was interesting. They showed a video, they did this, they did that, and all that stuff. And I said to her in the end, I said, how do you feel about going in to get this done? She goes, I feel great because there's no black holes. And I was like, if they can do that with somebody getting a hip replacement or an operation and take the fear away, why can't we do this in real estate? Our challenge is we're so busy not educating because nobody else was doing it. Stop doing what everybody else is doing. They're going left. Let's go right. In this world, now everybody is going to need a buyer agency agreement, where before they were elected, they were suggested, they were elected. Hey, Dre, mute that if you can.
Oh,
So,
sorry.
all good. So, you know, that's a key point. And thank you, Brian, for bringing that up. It's really sitting, being transparent.
To sum all that up,
not everybody's your client. We talked about that last week. Not everybody you should be working with. You can refer them and still get a piece of the action,
That's
but
right.
not everybody is who you should be working with.
Yeah, to sum all that up, I call it don't do malpractice on your clients.
There you go. I like that. I like that. David, coming in hot. Are you in San Diego or are you out in Park City?
Yeah. So I'm going to share my screen if it's okay. And
remember,
I'm
we're
going
gonna
to
try to
show
keep it-
you my.
We're going to keep it tight too. Remember, we're going to try.
Yeah, I'll make it really quick.
You got the screen. Perfect.
Do you see this, dear homeowner?
No, we're looking at your
Got your
Look at
MLS
your
up there.
MLS.
Oh.
internet.
Yeah, let's get the right one. Okay, you see this, dear homeowner?
Nah, we still
Looking
got your
at the same
MLS.
thing, David. Hit the any key. No, I'm kidding.
The any key.
All right. Back to square zero.
All right, I can just do this. Okay, you see it now?
Yep.
We got it.
Yes.
Okay. The
Okay.
Lawson team, dear homeowner. Okay.
Yeah, so I believe that I've coached and trained agents forever on this. The reason that people hire us is not because of what everybody else does. It's because what we do different. I love what Craig said. Be you, be who you are. Every single person on this call has unique things that they do. But I always tell people, if you do something great, you do something for a client that is over the top, you do anything like that, and you don't tell them, it has zero value, yes or yes, right? So we have this document and we simply call it just the facts. And what it is it talks about, what we do differently. In our business, we have three uniques. One is experience matters, two is white glove service, and three is exclusivity. And I can get you guys this document. But it really does help point out the things that we all do differently, right? So, we've sold over 3,500 homes out of 10,000 homes in Park City. So we don't brag about it, but we just say, I'll say, Craig, we've sold 3,520 homes out of the 10,000 properties. So, at least we have some experience, right? I don't have to brag, but I can tell, right? And it doesn't matter if you sold 3,500 homes or you sold 35 homes, you can tweak it. It's like, I remember in statistics class in my business long time ago, And what did they say? You can prove anything with statistics, right? Then we talk about, you know, what's the number one thing sellers want? More money, right? Sellers want more money. That's the number one thing. So we did something that shows that on the average, we get them more money. We talk about what we invest in. We talk about our full service real estate team, who we are. The most important thing that I'm doing right now to get listings is what I have right now. Now, for all of us at EXP in the luxury division, you guys already know this. But if you're at EXP and you're not in the luxury division, you should be. And if you're not at EXP, I don't know what to say, but because this is not available to you. But at this point, this one thing is by being at EXP in luxury, every single home that we have listed over $1 million, and that's only every one in Park City almost, right, is called luxury. And then what we do is we get to advertise their listing in the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, Barron's, Robb Report, Market Watch, Unique Homes, Mansion Global, Upmarket, and all these others. And we show them, and I don't have time, but we show them the media kit that absolutely blows their mind, right? Then we talk about some of the exclusive things that we do and how we get exposure and Zillow, and, you know, showcasing listings and so on. So, so basically, that's our unique positioning. And I just was a few minutes late because we just finished our team meeting and we're doing a training on, you know, we have to now be able to show our value coming up in the next couple of weeks. And I think we really should, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna, in the next 1 or 2 weeks, we're gonna be spending, or 3 weeks on this call about helping people get buyer agency signed. But the thing is people will hire people that they know or they trust, or somebody that can show their true value. So that's basically what I thought I wanted to share today. And then if
here's David, going
there-
back to that a second, and when what we've said, there's a lot of new people that might have done 2 million, 5 million, 8 million. Look, whatever you're doing, don't feel bad about it. If you sold one house, you sold 100% of your houses, brag about it. Brag about it. Okay. Who was I think Ross said it the other day. You can market, and Matt Battiata, you can market out there. You have the #1 team in the world in transactions. You're part of the #1 team in the world in transactions. You're part of EXP Realty, of RealTrends. #1 in transactions, 355,043. How many people know that number? You should know that. You should know those numbers. And the more numbers, like David was saying, the statistics are, the better you are, because when they're exact, people don't dispute you. When you use, about, those are disturbing words. So there's just some thought patterns. Cam, Ross, do you guys want to add anything to the unique point that we covered? Then we're going to get on to some of the mailers that we do and some of the things like that. I think that was part of the topic.
I think we can jump into it. I think the only thing about USPs or value propositions, remember, if you're new, make them about you. It can be anything. You can be a pet lover. You can be a running lover. You can be a kayak lover, like literally anything, you guys. If that is something that's unique to you, you can use that to build out your brand and your value proposition and who you are. But yeah, I think mailers is going to be great. I'm excited about this talk.
Yeah.
Ross, you want to say anything?
No, I think Brian and David brought so much value there. I love Brian's ninja tips, he always calls them. I was waiting for him to drop that line for everybody. Yeah, totally. And David always dropping the knowledge on us. But I don't need to echo anything they said. It was all on point.
All right, seeing that we played rock, paper, scissors last week to see who gets to go first, we're going to get to do this again. All right, everybody know how to play. We're going to play rocks, paper, scissors on 3. We're going to see which one of you guys are going to get picked. Ready? Rocks, paper, scissors, go. David's first.
right.
He's got, oh, okay, David's first. He's got the rock.
Odd man
He's
out
decided to
again.
be
Yeah.
he decided to be the hammer. Nobody did Spock. Remember rock, paper, scissors, Spock, whatever, from Big Bang.
that's right.
But all right, David, we're going to start with you. We're going to try to keep this moving. Like
Okay,
5
I'm
minutes
going to do this
behind,
really
we're gonna go
quick.
around. So
So
share some of your mailers.
So what I just shared with you is just the facts. So if we're sending to a for sell by owner, for rent by owner, expired, this letter here is very good because it starts out, if you're considering selling your property, we'd like to apply for the job of your personal sales team. We believe our combined local experience, innovating market approach, and our whatever, right? So I already showed you that, and I'm glad I got to go first because then I can get the document and I'll put it in the chat. So
Perfect.
that's
what
one of
Cameron's
them. The other thing is I have a unbelievably good marketing piece that you can use in so many different ways. And I'm going to show it to you. And this here, I brought out this envelope because I wanted you to see it. This is a number 16 envelope. It's an envelope that you've never seen. You've never received a mailer that looks like this. Okay, look at how big it is, right? And what it is it is an 11 by 17 piece. Sorry, I have my background. I should turn my background off. But it's a two-sided piece. And we just call this our trifold piece. And there's 3 things that are good about it. Because it's 11 and a half or 11 by 17 in 3 pieces or trifolded, you get a lot of room to put stuff on here that talks about who you are, what you do, and so on. The other thing is when somebody gets this piece of mail, 2 things happen. One, it gets opened. That's the most important thing. And also, this piece is so unique that when we go over to, we use this. So if I have a conversation with you, Craig, and you're saying, I'm not ready to sell right now, but I'm thinking maybe in, next year, my son is graduating high school and we may be moving to Boston, right? Or Philly or whatever. Then what I do is, and see here, if you can see the return address, it's just my name. It has nothing about EXP or Realty or anything. And I dropped this in the mail. I can't tell you how many times I've shown up at a listing appointment and this is sitting on their counter or on the table. It just happened to me a week or so ago on a $3.2 million listing that we took. Okay.
How often do you update that?
I update it about once or twice a year. We just updated it in the last 2 months, and partly because some things have changed in our industry, right? This whole thing about change, guys, you can either let all this change take you to the top or it can take you out. The good news is you get to choose, right? So we can't be afraid of change. None of us like change, but we have to embrace it. The next thing is RM marketing. Some of you already use it. Some have heard it. This is a 4-page flyer through the company out of San Diego. I've been using them for about, 10 or so years. These are phenomenal. They're relatively inexpensive. You can use these great for farms. You can take them on a listing presentation. If I ever do a listing presentation in a farm or right around my Pine Brook or Jeremy Ranch or Deer Valley or Canyons, that I can do it. And then
Matt Battiati uses them too, I think.
Yeah, I told Matt about this and he started using it and he's having good success.
So's Dennis D'Souza. Dennis has used it, I think, for less than a year, and he's received 6 listings because of it. And
Oh, yeah.
all over, you know, because of his price point, but he's received 6 listings that he wouldn't have had before, other than he's doing what he's doing and it's being consistent through this system and just setting it up.
Yeah, well, my sister from a different mother, Gail DeMarco, she's on the call today. She's using it. She had she's gone into a brand new market. She's been using it with a lot of success as well. The other thing that I have really quickly, because I want to hear what everybody else has, because when I'm talking, I don't learn. I need to learn from you guys. But I have revamped my listing presentation. In fact, because I'm in different markets, I now have 4 of these. I have a Park City listing presentation. I have a Park City Ultra listing, which shows homes from, you know, 7, 11, 15, 32 million dollars. Like, so if I go on something very high end, I got a presentation, but they're basically the same with a very few minor changes. And then I have one for Salt Lake in the market we're down there, and one in the Wasatch Back in the Heber Midway Camas. It's very easy. Once you get one, you can do a couple of these. And this here, and the thing is, I have a quote, you might want to write it down. A listing presentation is not just for listing presentations. A listing presentation is a lead generation tool, right? So don't spend all your time, effort, and money and do a listing presentation, stick it in a drawer, and in a month from now, you pull it out. No, you use this as to get listings. So what I do with these is we can mail these out when we meet a client. We have them. I have a binder that every agent in my team has. It has everything from contracts to listing presentations, buyer presentations. We have a phenomenal thing right here. This here is basically a yellow page guide. So if you're a buyer or even a seller in Park City and you need any services whatsoever, from accounting to electricians, there's 15 agents in here. Oh, sorry, they're all on my team. It talks about, gyms, handyman, heating and air, home automation, home inspections, hairstylists. That's the H's, right? These are people that we know and we trust, and we would never meet a buyer without giving somebody this one of these right here. So we use mailers, we use things, and we're always trying to innovate, use different and updated things. And with that, I'm going to turn it over because, like I said, now I want to learn from other people. Thank you.
Here we go. All right, we're going to go up to the crazy man with the motorcycle helmets. Let's go up to Cam. What are you doing? By the way, thank you, David. And you also, those are your unique points of difference too. They're also showing your unique points of difference. All right, Cam, let's get into you. We're going to keep them flying.
All right, let's get going. So good morning, everyone. Dave, those were great. Going to talk real quick on the difference between our farming mailer, which is the same one that Dave's using, and Gail and most of us, because it works great and it's very fair priced. That is that Real Marketing, or RM. I just posted the link there in the chat. So check the chat if you're looking to where to get those marketing. But that is more of our farming mailer, right? That's, you're going to pick your neighborhoods that you're farming. It's going to go out automatically every month. Fantastic. Absolutely love that. One thing to remember though, and I'm going to sidestep a little bit. Most agents that are here watching this, that I've worked with or I'm talking with, they're not quite in the position to start up a $2,000 a month mailer. It's just, right now it's not they're not ready to do that. So it's a little more challenging to scale with that Real Marketing mailer because there is requirements. They require you do so many. There's a, an onboarding fee and all that. So I'm going to talk more about our circle prospecting mailers, because you can do those at any scale. And we do them for everything. Open houses, just listed, just sold. Shoot, you guys, anything that's going on, we are sending out this basic template, and you can create your own. I don't have it actually on this computer to post. I wish it did, but very basic template. And it just simply states, you know, hey, the reason I'm reaching out is because we just listed, or we just sold, or we have a exclusive neighbors only open house going on. And I just wanted to let you know and give them a little bit more information about the home. Sorry. Give them a little bit more information about the home. And then obviously you throw in the stuff like, you know, a couple of those USPs that we were talking about before, like our exclusive off market program, or, you know, like I said, the neighbors only open house, or whatever you want to have that's unique to you. You can have that in that letter. But really what it's stating, you guys, and this is the key part, is that if it just listed, we had so much activity on it, but we just haven't found the right buyer. So I'm actually looking for a home in the neighborhood for one of my buyers that called me on my listing to see if we can find something for them, right? You're trying to help somebody. You're going above and beyond because of all that info, all of that demand, all of that action that you're getting on that listing. Well, we got some buyers that this just didn't fit for. So I'm trying to find somebody. And by the way, if you know anyone that you want to become your neighbor, obviously let me know, because this home, we just listed it. So I'm huge on circle prospecting with letters. And we do about 50 to 100, depending on the price point. So if it's a high dollar price point, or a market that we want to do more in, obviously we send out a few more mailers. If it's something maybe in the 300, 400, 500 range, we're going to only send out 50 homes around that listing. And again, because we're combining it with the multi-stage approach, right? We're doing door knocking, we're doing the open houses, we're doing the mailers. You're trying to infiltrate those markets or those areas that you're not already in, so that you can churn one transaction into 2 or 3. And you guys, that is our secret. I mean, that's the secret formula that I have used and most of our teams use, is when you have that advantage, you start marketing the heck out of it. You tell the world that, you know, it's great and it's working great, and you are having lots of success, and you just need their help. And that's, again, what you're reaching out for. One thing to keep in mind is that your USPs, right, and your letters, just like the guarantees that Matt uses, they are based, you create the terms, you create everything about them. So remember, when you're writing this letter, you guys, is you are creating what you want the person to read. If you know, you just took a new listing and you haven't got one call or one showing on it, it's going to get busy, and you need to make sure that by the time you send out that letter and it gets there, it's getting busy. And that's what people are reading, is that you're marketing it, you're doing everything you can, and you're just looking for them. I love the 11x17 trifold there, Dave. That is fantastic stuff. I mean, those are gorgeous. They catch people's attention. And you know, really, that's the biggest thing about mailers. You need people to open them. We have tried everything from, you know, bright, ugly, we call them the ugly yellow postcards, which were awesome. That, you know, just, you know, call this number for free information. We've tried those. We've tried the bigger postcards. We've tried the 11 by, I don't know what we were using. I don't think they were 11x17s, but they were bigger. Had a lot of success with those. Today, though, we just use basic letters. So many folks are not doing, at least down here in Florida, they're not doing any type of mailers. We don't really get that much spam in our mail down here. So the normal, just traditional letters, what is it, number 4 envelopes, we get a lot of response on them. If I send out 100 circle prospecting letters, I usually will get 2 to 3 calls that are inquiring, wanting to know more. Maybe not business, maybe not clients, but people are opening them, they're looking through them. So don't feel like you have to go out and spend, you know, $3 per mailer. Get doing them, start working them, get them out, and then be consistent. If you are doing a farm, you know, you're going to have to do it 3, 4, 5 months in a row, really, to start, you know, seeing those results. But don't quit just because you sent out one and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Just list it, or, you know, even better. David, give me 1 second. I'm just going to finish up. Okay. Even better here. Coming soon. We're going to be selling a home soon. Just listed, neighbors only open house. Then you door knock. Then you got the just pending. Then you got the just sold. That really is our, you know, mailing circle prospecting system. And it's the same exact letter. You're just changing a few little spots. So Dave, go ahead. That's all I got.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, when you say letters, you're not saying normal letters, that you're using like a Robo Inc. or a letter company to send the letters out? Yes or no?
No, absolutely not. So this is more just for the circle prospecting guys. This is low budget, easy for everyone to do.
So you're
That's why I
printing,
wanted to
folding,
focus
and
on it.
mailing? So
What's
you're
that?
printing, folding, and mailing?
printing them and buy your printer, just like we used to do back when we were single new agents, right? Print out those 50 letters around the neighborhood. You can get the mailing data for free using your MLS. You know, you can use RPR to get that free data. So again, if you have a little bit of money and you want to spend it in the mailers, there's lots of options. I'm sure some of these guys are going to bring them up. This is the cheapest option that you can start doing right now that you can do from your home on your home printer. Get them printed out, start doing 50. If you have no listings, if you don't have any business, go to talk to someone in your office, jump on Workplace, ask somebody if you can do an open house there. And then guess what? Now you're going to send out that mailer for that neighbor's only open house. Now you're going to start working. You're going to do the door knocking. So there's always opportunity there. Just, you know, you got to be searching for it. But yes, this is for printing it on your printer, using a normal envelope, using a stamp from USPS, like the good old days, you guys. It's probably the most cost-effective way to do small batches. Now, as you get a couple sales and you start building up that marketing budget, you know, make sure that you subscribe to like the Real Marketing. Real Marketing is great. Everyone should be on that. But for low cost, for smaller agents, that's what I recommend highly.
I'm going to go back to something. Write this number down. I always say it, and we've talked about this. 83%. 83% of the agents don't do anything after a home is sold. So there's nothing wrong with you picking listings that are out there saying market update, not that you just sold, just said market update, new buyer to your neighborhood. The home sold over asking. We have buyers still looking. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing ethically wrong with that. All right. Okay. So remember 83. Let's go down here to Ross. What's going on with some of the stuff that you're doing mailings?
Yo, how's it going, guys? With mailers, I did 4 years of it here in the desert, and I found that we have a ton of second home people. So I was sending it to homes where nobody was, and I didn't need to be spending money that way. So I started taking different routes, but I wanted to talk about the 3 ways that I think that people should be mailing and targeting people. The first way is the traditional way, kind of what everyone's been touching on so far. A beautiful and ugly, informative, however it is you feel that you're going to get somebody's attention. There's multiple ways to send that out via mail. Now, I'd like to talk about how to identify where to send these mailers. The first one is just canvassing. And if you're just breaking in, I think you need to understand that if there's already an established listing agent in an area, do not waste your money in those neighborhoods. If somebody has over 80% of the listings in a neighborhood, that's not a place for you to start breaking in. You're not going to overcome that guy in day one. Yeah, down the line, as you build up your repertoire and you make these sales, you should be able to, you know, get there at some point. Everyone's going to retire one day, right? And we can step in and be that person. However, if there's somebody that has already captured a market, do not waste your dollars mailing there. What we need to do is focus on an area, and there's several here in the desert that I know of that there's no dominant listing agent. If you look across, it's a smattering of people who are listing properties, and they're normally the buyer's agent who sold them. So how do you then step in and become the local agent? What you want to do is talk about your experience, like Dave was saying, the white glove experience that they're going to get with you. Tell them how you're going to be the local expert and how you're already dominating that area, whether you've done 1 sale or 1,000. You can tell them you are dominating in that area and let them know that you have the bandwidth, you have the experience, and you have all the tools needed, you know, leverage EXP, leverage all of these opportunities that we have to be able to jump in and become that market expert. So that's the goal. And yes, it takes time. When you're doing that, you can't just, like the guys have been saying, you can't do 1 month, be like, oh, couldn't get a call. If you are doing this, it's a commitment. What's the rule in sevens? You got to do something 7 times to be able to start even getting a response. So you're committing to 7 months of one activity. And like Cam touched on, that's a big spend right now in a down market. But however, in a down market, you can establish yourself. So yeah, it's a dual-edged sword, but something that you may want to consider depending on the market you're working in, starting up. So make sure you're targeting neighborhoods that aren't extremely saturated with a singular listing agent or team. The second
Double down.
one, yeah, double down. I love that. The second way that you can mail is targeting specific properties. So you guys have already covered it. There's 3 ways you can do it, right? Mailer, door knock, open house. Like that's the best way to canvas a neighborhood. So when you're getting into the targeting, I love using the line, you know what, your house inspired me. You know, even if it's like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath track home that looks just like the one next door and it might have a dumpy front yard, but your house inspired me in some way. How did it inspire you? This is not a mass mailer, so you get to make it super specific and create your own story of how you can get that home sold. So you can mail that directly to them. You can get a notification that it's been delivered, and then you can go knock on their door, and then you can invite them to your other activities that you're holding in that market. So whether it's luxury or the bottom of the barrel low end that you're looking for a fixer, you can target people specifically to how their home inspired you and show them how you can help them reach their real estate goals by all the USPs that we really spoke about last week. So I like targeting in a market like this. It's very direct, it's specific, it's somewhere that you want to be working to get your foot in. So be strategic. Don't just, go over to Beverly Hills and be like, hey, your $21 million house inspired me. Like, yeah, of course it did, man. It's got a helicopter pad. So like that's okay to be inspired by that and go take down those too. But, start somewhere that's attainable, somewhere that's doing business, set yourself up for success, whether you're doing traditional or targeting. And then there's the mailer that I use the most, and that's through MailChimp or Facebook targeting ads. I think that this is the future of mailing, especially for somebody like me, where the majority of my market lives out of town for more than half the year. My people are only here like November through April, so less than 6 months. They're enjoying the winters and the summer. So what I like to do is I'm going to go target the Pacific Northwest. I'm going to go target Canada, BC, Vancouver. I'm going to go target these areas that I know are the people coming down and buying homes. And that even includes places that are closer. I need to target Los Angeles. I need to target San Francisco. And that's why I've started actually teams in those areas, because I'm creating a feeder market for everyone. There's people in the desert that need to move into the bigger markets. There's people in the bigger markets that want a second home in the desert. So creating those markets in the midst of my team is super important to me, but also using those areas to target with ads. So now that you have, there's EXP agents all over the place. And if you just make a call, if you want to target in Dave's neck of the woods, be like, hey, Dave, can I feature your listing on a mailer to try and get people in my area interested in your area, and vice versa. Like, I think we have a huge network to leverage, and targeting, whether you're paying for Facebook ads or you're using a referral network, which is huge in our brokerage, start using that to connect with actual people in the market, to get them to come down to your place from out of town. And that's what I really have to focus on in my specific neighborhood. So if you have, and just summarizing, if you have a traditional neighborhood or someone that, in like San Diego, people are moving there every day, people are moving up. I think that's a great place to do traditional mailers. I think that can create a huge canvassing. I imagine that's probably the same in Philly, huh, Lurch?
Yeah, pretty much.
You get a lot of people having to move to that area, right? Or move up or step up because of family stuff. You can target, be very specific about individual property and set up a campaign for that, which will probably yield the most success if you're hyper focusing on a property, but it does very limit your bandwidth. And then I think digital ads, using MailChimp, using Facebook marketing ads, and sending out what you would send in a mailer, but just digitally. I think that could be the future of mailers in themselves. So that's pretty much all I had to cover on mailers today.
And I like that the emails are there. You definitely got to have a system. It's got to be in place and it can go out there. Brian, let's jump over to you. We've got about a little more than 15 minutes. We're going to save the end for a little bit of fun like we always do. But why don't you shoot for about 5 minutes on some ideas of some of the mailers that you're doing out there?
All right. Well, first of all, after hearing a few of you, I'm leaving a lot of fruit out there on the trees, okay? Because I am I'm an old school agent and I do old school activities. I've never really done a lot of mailers. When I've done them, they've worked, but I really like, I think people don't really care about how much you know until they know how much you care. So I tried all those early on, you know, things that we were talking about, you know, here's what I've done and here's where I do and here's where but really I focus in on what's in the farm. So, you know, if you have owner ox and you have non-owners, the non-owner occupieds, there's two things you can do with them. One, you send them current real estate buying activities because you know you're sending it to a tenant. So I would send tenants things like, hey, when do you plan on buying your first home? Because I know you're already renting, you know, so I would focus to a group of people who could say yes a few times to the mailer, like, ooh, do we want to buy a house? Is this a good time to buy a house? That's a tenant activity versus my non-owner occupied. I would have my title company give me all my, you know, like 200 homes. I would say, give me the owner ox and the non-owners. The non-owner occupieds, what I would do is I would constantly send them what's been sold in the area. And I'd send them a couple of, you know, market analysis like every other agent would. But then I would send them information about 1031 exchanges. Like, hey, would you like to move your money from this neighborhood, maybe closer to where you live today? And I would focus on signs in front yards in my farm that had the for rent or for lease sign. And I'd call the phone number because usually that meant it was going directly to the owner. So I would list properties while they were vacant, looking for a tenant. I'd say, hey, what if you could sell that property in this market? Would you consider selling it? So like I said, I'm an old school. I'm probably going to be known later. Right now, I'm so relaxed financially. I'm just relaxed. I'm a grandpa now. I'm in a spot where I'm like, I love real estate. It's what I love to do. It feels like it's the only thing. I've sold homes in over 52 zip codes in Southern California. So I share my wins with all my clients. My network is a social network. So when I share my wins with them, like if I just sold a home in Santa Barbara, people will go, what are you doing in Santa Barbara? Well, that's where my clients went, you know? So I will represent people. And I've sold homes out where Ross is. I just closed a deal in between he and I in this little place called Pinecrest in Idlewild. And you know, I've got homes all over Southern California that I've either repped the buyer or the seller. And the reason I share that is because that's what I share with my community, because I don't want my sellers who live in Alpine, California, 40 minutes away from San Diego, to only think that's where I work. I let them know I just sold a property in Oceanside, almost an hour and a half away, because they may have a kid or they may have a family member or they may have somebody in that area. And I'm their preferred agent in their area, but I want them to know that I'm a preferred agent in other areas too. So I really try to unlock conversations so people can understand, you know, really how much I care about my clients versus how much I've done. Because I could spend, you know, 40 years and 1,000 homes and represented Doug Flutie and Junior Seau and all these athletes. I could focus on all that, but I don't want to be braggadocious. I do it here, obviously. I'm just telling you guys, you know, I could leverage all that, but I found that it really didn't mean anything to the common buyer-seller relationship conversation I had. I really think people just want to know how much they care or how much I care, and I attach myself to their outcome. So I'm not the best on this conversation. I'm leaving, like I said, I'm leaving a lot of fruit, but here's what I have done. Every agent I sponsor into EXP, they live, just like David said earlier, we're part of the #1 team in the world. So what I do is I ask all of them to leverage me, all my homes I've sold, all the homes I've overseen, and use me as their team as part of what it is they do, so they can learn to walk in with confidence and walk into a situation where they feel confident, even if they're a brand new agent, if they've never sold. They can just come in with confidence. And I teach confidence. I really like old school scripts. I want to be like the handshake icon agent, right? I don't do any marketing, but I'm an icon agent. I'm just shaking a lot of hands. So David, you have questions in the chat, and I'm going to default to the next speaker.
All right.
Well, Brian, real quick, and that's how you get national referrals, right? You build into your clients that you're the real estate expert. So even if you're not going to go sell a home, you can be like, oh, you're moving to Philadelphia, I'm going to connect you with Lurch. And you're going to know that you're getting a piece of the action too, because they've trusted you not only with the local stuff, but you're just their real estate guy. So now you're nationwide. So
Yeah.
I love how you build into your clients like that.
Yeah, I mean, and again, if you don't have all the support, take the stuff from the people that are around you. Take from the market around you and work on that. That's all fearful stuff that we all don't have the business. But I'm going to throw something out here real quick. You've heard consistency on a bunch of mailers here, different ways of doing it. Okay, we're all different. We all have different ways of doing it. Find out your way, but just doing it. I have not heard somebody say this yet, and this is what I've learned because I didn't do anything. 3 years ago, when I came to EXP, I decided to blow everything up I had and started a whole new boat and said, this is what we're going to do. We went to Thanks.io, and instead of the handwritten cards and all that stuff, we went to the 6x9 postcards. We made them for different things. I have the one, cash paid for homes, blah, 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 blah. I will literally be driving down the street, and if I see a dumpster, if I see a new roof going on, they're typically signs. How many times have you driven down, you see a house that's got a roof going on or a dumpster, and then 3 weeks later, you see the house for sale. And you think, oh, I should have mailed something, I didn't do it. So I literally have these postcards that are already designed. My VA had them. I literally get on WhatsApp. I go and I leave her a message. I say, Phona, send to this address the cash card. Boom. She goes into Thanks.io, 91 cents, 6x9, full colored, already done, mailed that minute, boom, done. It's there within 3 days. Never touched it, never had it. It's systematized. Okay. So those are the things. Start looking for key points. And then what we do is we don't just do it once. She then marks it down again. Phona marks it down. Sorry for calling you she. Phona marks it down, then a month again later, put it up. If it didn't go on the market, do it again. 3 months in a row, they'll get that card because they might not quite be ready, or it could intrigue them. And that's an interesting point. Also, the other thing, like Brian said, the second you see those rental signs, call. The second I see a rental sign or for sale by owner on them, I use the same kind of cards. Get a system to your cards, whether you do it or not. Just go in, already design them from Canva. Have them done, have them specialized, selling homes in Meadows, selling homes in Philly, selling homes, whatever the neighborhood is, but customize them. They're 91 cents. Printed, full color, and all you got to do is one. You don't have to do a multiple of them. You can do just one of them. So just do something. And we were talking about massive mailings. I wanted to take it to the simple mailing of just something that's different, that every time I see a house that's overgrown, every time I see a dumpster, every time I see, it looks like somebody's not taking care of the house, whatever it might be, become cognitive of not just being in blinders. What's going on in your market? What are houses looking like? What are they doing? Do they look vacant? And that's a key thing that I look for.
Hey, Craig, I got a ninja tip, like Ross said.
Yeah, I want the ninja tip.
All right, 30-second ninja tip. So old school Brian stops at those addresses when they sees the roof on. I pull over, I check the tax records on the spot. I look to see who the buyer is. If it recently sold, it will tell me. And if it's an LLC, I know it's an investor. And I immediately walk up and I ask the roofer or whoever, hey, because usually if it's an LLC, the mailing address, that what you're going to send them isn't going to make it to the decision maker. So I typically walk in and I see if it's under renovation, I start asking questions for who's ever there. Who can I call to talk to about this property? And then I introduce myself as somebody who's working with buyers in the area, because I know if it is a renovation, they're going to want to sell it. It will be off market. It will be hidden inventory for me to use and leverage for a while until it does hit the market with either a relist with the other agent, or I'll have a chance to list it because I'm active.
That's ninja.
Yeah.
Get out of the car.
Ninja.
Stop being afraid.
Here's another ninja thing, and I shared this with everybody. Landglide. Landglide is a phenomenal app. It's $100 a year, and you can go into you can turn it on, and you can go in a neighborhood, and it will do two things for you. One, it'll show you all the names of the owners and the address of where they mail their tax bill to. And when you're walking a property, you can walk and you can say, oh, hey, Mr. Buyer, can I show you the back corner of this lot? And you walk back there and Landglide will tell you the property line. It's unbelievable. You can use that. Ninja tip number 2.
Hold on, what is that again? Landglide, Glide?
Yeah, Landglide. Yep.
Okay.
We've talked about this before. So would somebody put it in the
I am.
chat? Okay,
Landglide.com.
Ninja 2. Today's Thursday. Who wants to talk to 8 people and find 1 seller? Raise your hand. Okay. On Saturday, go out and drive around your marketplace and find garage sales. 1 out of every 8 garage sales are people that are going to move. And by the way, use Landglide and you walk up and you say, you can just walk up. Hey, Craig. Hey, I'm David Lawson and I specialize in selling real estate in our area of the Skylark area or wherever it is. And I was just wondering, you're having a garage sale. Have you had any thoughts of selling your home or moving? 7 are going to look at you like, no, I'm trying to make money for my whatever, right? 1 of them is going to say, yeah, we're getting ready to move, right? These are the little tiny things, gang, that we all can do to find business. And you drive around for 2 hours, you meet 8 people, you talk to people. It's about, don't be a secret agent, right? Just let people know who you are. And then the other one, when you guys see a new sign that says for rent by owner, learn this script. Hey, Craig, ring, ring. Okay. Hey, Craig, I noticed that you have your property 123 Main Street for rented. Is it still available? Yes, it is. Oh, tell me about it. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, how much you looking? I would need, it's $4,300 a month. Right. How long have you had it for rent? Oh man, it's been 45 days. Hey, Craig, I got a question. Is there a price that would get you excited about actually selling the property and getting out of the landlord business? And sometimes they say yes. Sometimes they say, hell no, I am not doing that. I love the rental business. I own 15 properties. Oh, could I help you find 15 more? That's it. How much does that cost, gang? You guys, we need to think outside of the box. I love what Craig said. 3 years ago, I joined EXP. I threw everything away. There's 2 of us, the old guys, right, on this. Lurch and me, right? But why are we different than other people? Because we're willing to learn. Brian just said, man, I'm leaving things on the table, right? I'm in the same position. I don't need to do this anymore, but why do I do it? Because I love real estate. I love helping people. And that's why I love being on this. 1, I learn, it keeps me sharp, but it also gives me an outlet to help other people win. That's what this is about. And by the way, this is not the top producer mastermind. I'm getting Mitch to change the name. This is going to become the $1 billion mastermind group. That's what I want.
I like that. Because I like that.
The people that you're talking to on this panel, if you add all this up, we're selling well over $1 billion of real estate a year. So do you think that this is of value to other people? And you know what? I used to think I knew some stuff until I met all the people, man. When I met Gail and Ross and Cameron and Lurch and sorry, Lurch, I shouldn't use your last name. Craig, my buddy, Craig. I mean, he's my brother, man. And Brian and Mitch and Pete Middleton and Matt Badiak. I mean, I learn things from every one of you every time. And all of you are helping me and my business and my team and my agents. And I can't thank you enough. So that's all I ask.
That's huge. That is
Yep.
huge.
One thing real quick here, guys. That same idea with the 4 rent by owners, you can do the same thing with for sale by owners. So if you see that for sale by owner sign, you got to get a mailer out to them. You call them, do the same thing. That's the
Idea, real
third
quick.
ninja tip. 3 ninjas.
Fourth coming right now.
All right, Tum Tum.
Craigslist. Look at Craigslist for people that are renting their own rentals. Call them. You don't have to see the signs. And also Facebook Marketplace in your area. Look for those people doing it yourself. 2 places you can work on. All right, the fun piece of what we're doing. I know we're not supposed to eat it all the time. We do. We all love it. And Dre, we're pulling you in on this one too. So you're going to be able to chime in from the side. What is your favorite pizza? Let's go with Ross. What's your favorite pizza? What do you like on your pizza? Is it thick? Is it thin crust? What is it? Real quick. And we got 2 minutes. Go.
Yeah, I turned 40 and now bread kills me. So it's got to be a thin crust. And I like it's pepperoni and black olive. It's weird.
Ooh, that's like putting ketchup on a hot dog. Wow. All right. There you go.
I do that too. Yeah.
There you go. All right, Cam, coming in from Florida. What do you do?
Oh, we're going to be weird here. So we got this mellow mushroom down here, my favorite, thicker pizza, pesto, honey, pineapple, jerk chicken, banana peppers, and I think it has bacon on it. It's like a whole big old, man, it's massive. It's great.
That's a smorgasbord.
You sure you didn't go to a sandwich shop? That's a pizza?
That's crazy. All right, Brian, what are you doing?
Traditional, the works, thin crust.
What's the works? To you, what's the works?
Sausage, pepperoni, onions, bell peppers, mushrooms, extra cheese, extra sauce.
No anchovies, right?
No, my wife is half Filipino. She'll eat the anchovies for me.
There you go. All right, David, what are you doing?
First of all, it's only 1 piece. It's
Okay.
gluten-free, thin crust, of course, right? I learned another thing I get from my buddy Ross in the desert. Mushrooms, onions, bell peppers, cheese, anchovies, that kind of stuff.
All of it on there. Hey, Dre, can you chime in? You chime in. What's yours, Dre?
All right. Well, I'm from Connecticut, and we
And
know.
by the
we all
way,
know-
Dre is Pete's right hand and takes care of us all. So thank you for all you do, baby.
And we all know that Connecticut has the best pizza in the country. So I'm very picky with my pizza, but it's thin crust, and I like bacon and pineapple and extra sauce, and it has to be crispy.
And fold it over to eat.
Yeah,
Really?
that's right.
There you go. All right. I'm in Philly. I'm always going to do the pepperoni, onion, and mushroom, thin crust on a well-done side, and we go from there. So
Great
there you
job.
go. Learn some more. And by the way, somebody had a really cool one: fig, pear, and gorgonzola from Janet. So thanks for sharing that, Janet. Hey, love you all. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing. We're coming to the $1 billion panel next week. We're going to be able to see some new things. Bring a friend, bring your dog, bring your cat. I don't care. Bring somebody with you. Other than that, you're all awesome. Let's go. Enjoy the weekend.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
See ya.
See ya.
All right,
Bye.
bye.
Thanks, guys. And Dre.